Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Now we will consider the last set of two-port parameters, which are known as G parameters or inverse hybrid parameters. In case of hybrid or H parameters, we took I1 and V2 as independent variables. Now, in this case, we will take V1 and I2 as independent variables. Okay. Otherwise, the rest of the stuff is similar to H parameters and also to Z and Y, in that you set one of the parameters to 0 for the measurement and so on. Okay. So, we apply V1 and I2 and measure I1 and V2. As you expect, both I1 and V2 are linear combination of the applied independent sources, which are V1 and I2. Okay. Now, to measure this, again we will do 4 measurements with some independent source set to 0 each time. First we set I2 to 0, which means that we open circuit port 2, okay, and apply a voltage V1 to port 1, and then we measure I1 and V2. Okay. So, I1 will turn out to be G11 times V1. The contribution from I2 is 0, because I2 itself is 0. So, this tells you that G11 is I1 by V1 with port 2 open circuited. Okay. And you can see that G11 is nothing but the conductance looking into port 1 with port 2 open circuited. Okay. Now, V2 will be G21 V1. So, G21 will be nothing but V2 by V1 with port 2 open circuited. So, this G21 is nothing but the voltage gain from port 1 to port 2 with port 2 open circuited. Okay. So, very similar to whatever we had earlier, and naturally G11 has dimensions of conductance and G21 is dimensionless. Okay. Now, for the other set of measurements, we set V1 to 0. So, that is port 1 short circuited, and we apply a current I2 to port 2. With that, we measure I1 and V2. Okay. So, in this case I1 will be G12 times I2, or G12 is I1 by I2 with port 1 shorted. In other words, it is the current gain from port 2 to port 1 with port 1 shorted. Okay. And V2 is G22 times I2, or G22 is V2 by I2 with V1 equal to 0, which is nothing but the resistance looking into port 2 with port 1 shorted. Okay. So, that is what G22 is. So, very similar to all the other parameters the measurement techniques are. Now, the G parameter matrix is G11, G12, G21, G22, where these two are dimensionless and this one is a conductance and that one is a resistance. And from the definitions, it must be obvious that this is the inverse of the H parameter matrix. Z and Y are inverses of each other and G and H are inverses of each other. Okay.